Hey guys, me and Shane gonna do a little Star Wars talk. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, you haven't seen the movie yet, don't watch this bit. So yeah, we're just kind of playing Minecraft because I needed something to record while we do this, and I was just gonna kind of use like pictures of Star Wars, but I think this is kind of more fun anyway. You know, actually, I'm gonna turn down the volume just a bit more. Just okay. Anyway.
Okay, what do we have to do?
We in this,
Yeah.
just don't die. Like when you run on this stuff, it falls, and like after a bit, like all the stuff's eventually gonna fall. So, oh, dude, you have a bow? Use it. I just noticed that. So anyway, it's lagging a bit for some reason. All right, anyway, so what did you think of the movie? By the way, you saw it. You saw it today. I saw it the day. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Honestly, I know people are probably going to be hating on me like this, but it was a good movie, but it was just like, come on, really? It left me with a big cliffhanger, honestly. And I'm not one that likes that. I mean, it was a good movie overall, but I'm not the type of person
You know
that
what?
likes
It
a
left
cliffhanger.
us with a big. It left us with a big cliffhanger, but in all honesty, I thought it was going to leave us with a bigger one.
Yeah,
than it
yeah,
did.
yeah. That's what I thought too.
I mean, it's absolutely great. Like, it's fantastic, and you should go watch it. Because it's literally the best movie, the best Star Wars movie, and honestly, maybe the best Star Wars thing that we've had since, like, 1983. And I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars, like, TV show,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
me
cartoon
too, me
one.
too. I used to watch that all the time.
Because like the best thing that came out of the prequels was just the world of the prequels in general.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But like because the movies like were bad writing and
Yeah.
Jar Jar. But but
Um,
as I said when I left the movie, J.J. Abrams, you will not be known as Jar Jar Abrams yet.
That is so true. How did you feel about Kylo Ren? Like, did you feel like he was like a duplicate of Darth Vader almost?
No, he's definitely not like a duplicate of Darth Vader. At least, like not at all. I don't think.
He kind of seemed like Darth Vader was his idol.
Yeah, but which I mean, I don't really particularly know like exactly why. I don't think anyone does actually at the moment. I mean, yeah, he just does kind of idolize him, I guess, but I don't particularly know why. I mean, we don't even really know why. So okay, Kylo Ren, the new guy, the new villain. He's not really a Sith. You would say he's not a Sith Lord. He's definitely like on the dark side, but he's not a Sith Lord.
He was an apprentice of what's this guy?
Yeah,
What's that guy's
he was Luke. Luke was trying to get like a new Jedi Order founded, or like a new kind of like group of Jedis anyway.
Yeah.
And so he recruited a bunch of apprentices, and Kylo Ren, which was one of Luke's apprentices, betrayed him, and I'm pretty sure killed a bunch of the other Jedi, right?
And then that's
Yeah.
why Luke went into.
Yeah, that's why Luke went into hiding because he felt bad for it and everything. And also, Kylo Ren is also Han's son, Han and Leia's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So, like,
I'm almost certain that Rey is their daughter too. If she is not their daughter, then she's Luke's daughter.
well,
It's definitely one or the other.
in episode 6 at the end, you see the Endor battle, them all celebrating, and Han and Leia, going at it almost. So it kind of leads you to the point, at that point, before this movie, that they were going to hook up sometime. And obviously they did, because Kylo Ren is their son.
Well-
He changed his name, didn't he? From something to Kylo Ren, because he's...
Yeah.
So...
But like honestly though, I'm like I said, like 95% sure that she is either Han or Luke's son, or I mean daughter, because like if you like she has been on Jakku waiting for her parents that left her like years ago, which like if you think about it, could And also the amount of times that like Han like looked at her and like kind of like smirked, like
Well,
whenever she is force sensitive too, so that makes me kind of think that she might be Luke's daughter.
well, the thing is that she kind of just harnessed the power of Luke's lightsaber. She just kind of took it and
No,
felt natural.
no, dude, no. She is force sensitive because if she wasn't, that wouldn't have happened. Especially because she did Jedi mind. She performed Jedi mind tricks on a stormtrooper in the torture room, and then used the force to yank like Luke's lightsaber away from Kylo.
Kylo Ren, yeah.
Yeah, so she is definitely force sensitive. So that brings me to believe that she is Luke's daughter, but she could also be Han's because even though Han is not force sensitive, Leia is.
Yeah.
So yeah, which to be honest, like I kind of would rather want her to be Luke's daughter, but I feel like the more likely thing is that she's Han's because like because that would create like even more tension between her and Kylo.
She didn't even like know who Han was until he said she was Han Solo, and that she was in fact flying the Millennium Falcon.
Well, yeah, because everyone like has heard of this. Like this takes place like 40 years after all the stuff after the Battle of the Empire, like where the Empire lost on and yeah. So in that amount of time, everybody's kind of like all the stories and everything have kind of faded off into myth, basically.
Yes.
Everyone in the Star Wars universe now kind of also like thinks that everybody like Luke Skywalker and everyone are like is just a myth, and they still don't really and the whole universe pretty much still doesn't really believe that Jedi's are like a kind of like are a thing, which is a little weird to me just because like. Which has always been a little weird to me, just because like it's not like Jedi were like Jedi were a huge thing in the universe like just a few years, just like a few like maybe like 20, 30 years before the Republic fell. So how could they like fade out into myth like that fast? But then again, so did Luke and Han and everyone. So anyway, the movie starts out like any Star Wars movie with the text crawl, and then goes into I don't know if you noticed this, but like after the text crawl, every other Star Wars movie also opens up with a ship over a planet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And this one, it was just like that, and it was so good too. And it started up, the music started up and everything, and the text scroll started, and I was just sitting there smiling because, yeah. And then, and then like and then yeah, it was just like a really cool like feeling like seeing a Star Wars movie after there hasn't been one for like 40 years.
Yeah, that's true.
But okay, so it starts up, and then you meet Poe Dameron, who he's not force sensitive. He's kind of like the new Han, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, basically.
He's the best pilot in the Resistance, which is like the new which is like the new rebel forces. By the way, the Empire is like not a thing anymore, but what rose out of the Empire was a thing called the First Order, which is like what the new stormtroopers and the whole like dark side is like a part of now. And so yeah, the First Order rose out of that, and then the Resistance and the like rebel forces are two different things, right? Because I heard that like a couple Resistance members mentioning the New Republic.
Yeah.
So there's a New Republic, right? That's been established?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a New Republic, and then there's also the Resistance, which they work together, and the Empire like found out about that, and they're like, "Oh, you scum!" And then so the movie opens up. We meet Poe Dameron, and everybody's like looking for Luke because he's like the only Jedi that they like know about at the moment. They need him to come back and help out the Resistance and everything. So Leia and Han, or not Han. Han's like not here right now, but Leia and the Resistance are looking for Luke, and to do that, they need to find a map. Poe Dameron goes to this planet that Leia sent him to this planet because they heard a rumor that there might be a lead to Luke there. So Poe Dameron goes there. He meets a guy in this like village on Jakku, and the guy gives him a map, or a piece of the map to Luke, and Poe, as he gives Poe the map, you can see the First Order coming in, and because they're gonna raid the village because they found out that Poe's there. They found out that the Resistance sent a pilot there to get the map. Okay, yeah. So they want the map so they can go and kill Luke. So the Empire goes and raids the entire village of and as they're doing that, Poe sees the raid coming, so he puts the little map in BB-8 and tells him to go, and Poe will come back for him later. And so BB-8 does that, and that's kind of like that. You might realize that's pretty similar to R2-D2 taking the map to the rebels, right? You know what I mean? So anyway, BB-8 leaves as the raid starts, and then what happens is the Empire comes into the village. You see them raiding it and lighting the stuff on fire, killing the villagers, and they capture Poe. After Poe tries to Poe and BB-8 first try to get in their X-wing, and then their X-wing blows. Their X-wing the engine gets taken out. So then that's when he gives BB-8 the map. And by the way, Shane, correct me if I say anything wrong here. The Empire comes over. They capture him. They capture Poe. And so they ask Poe where the map is. He doesn't tell them, so they bring him back to the big starfighter that the Empire has over the planet. And right before they do that, we meet Finn, who is a stormtrooper on his very, very first mission. Right, it's his first mission.
Yes, his name was not actually Finn. It was FN 0413 or something like that.
And he's not a clone, but he's not a clone, but he was part of the First Order his entire life. I keep wanting to say Empire. He was part of the First Order his entire life because he was snatched up from the village as a baby and forced into being compliant with the First Order and everything. So yeah, then he goes this is his first mission, this raid on this village, and he is absolutely horrified by what he sees and
execute a bunch of
before that happens though, one of the villagers, or no, one of his fellow Empire troops gets shot and killed by one of the villagers, and so he goes over to help him. And the guy tries to grab Finn's helmet and leaves a handprint of blood on it, and then after that, after they bring Poe into the ship and they're gonna bring him up to the big Star Destroyer, they get all the stormtroopers around around the big cluster of all the captured villagers, and they tell the stormtroopers pretty much to execute them. As Kylo is leaving. By the way, Kylo was there. And as they're leaving to get on the ship, and all the stormtroopers are firing on the villagers, killing every last one of them, Finn does not fire. He hesitates. He doesn't fire at all. He aims his gun. Yeah, he aims his gun up to and points at them to fire, but he hesitates and he doesn't fire. He lowers his gun because he feels horrible at what he's just witnessed. And so as Kylo Ren is leaving on the ship, he notices that Finn didn't fire. He senses it pretty much, kind of. And he doesn't kill him or anything, but they do share they stare at each other for a couple seconds, and then Kylo leaves.
Yeah.
And and that's important because later when Finn helps Poe escape, Kylo instantly knew what stormtrooper it was. So yeah, that brings me on to the next thing. They bring Poe onto the ship, and Kylo, yeah, they bring him into a torture chamber. Kylo begins to torture him, try to get out the information from him, and then tries to read his mind with the Force. Does he succeed? I forget.
Yes, he does. He kind of.
But Poe did resist him for a while, right?
He was trying his hardest to resist, but Kylo eventually got it out of him. And then Kylo walked out of the room and told the stormtroopers next to him that the droid had it.
Yeah, he basically told I think did he tell Captain Phasma or the other guy? I can't remember the character's name. He's like the head. He's like the
That's a girl, actually.
I'm talking about someone else. I know Captain Phasma's a girl, but did he tell Captain Phasma or did he tell the guy that's dressed all in black? He's like the commander.
What's his name?
I don't remember actually, honestly.
I know he's a commander. But yeah, he told him.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and he comes out of the torture room and tells him, it's in a droid, a BB-8, a BB unit. Like he didn't say BB-8, the unit's just called BB, I guess. BB. So he said he's in a BB. Yeah, he said he's in a BB unit. So and then what happened after that exactly? Like after he came out.
Well, he kind of sent a search expedition out to Jakku to find.
Before that, doesn't it go and show us Rey for the first time?
Yes, it shows her climbing.
Yeah, it shows Rey. Yeah, it shows her scavenging a destroyed Star Destroyer on Jakku, because she scavenges for food and money on Jakku, which is another big desert planet that they had a battle for a year after the Empire, the Death Star blew up, right?
Yes.
So yeah, she's a scavenger, and that's just when we kind of meet her, and yeah, and then the more important part is it goes back to she meets BB-8 then, right?
Yeah, because BB-8 is being taken by what's hinted as sort of a Jawa type creature from Episode 4. He's trying to take the droid for parts, and she goes over and cuts the net open that he's holding the droid in, and then he kind of hints at that he wants to follow her because he's on a mission. So
yeah. And then after we kind of meet her, she goes back into town. The guy offers her. Oh no, that doesn't happen yet. Okay, sorry.
No.
So then it goes back to them in the Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Finn, who at the moment is known as FN-298 or something, goes in the torture cell to get to free Poe, because he's absolutely mortified by what the Stark's doing.
And he's a
yeah, so he goes.
He needs a pilot to get out of there.
Yeah, he goes into Poe and and he frees him, takes him into the hangar, and then Poe is Poe on their way to the hangar is asking him why he's freeing him, and Finn says because it's the right thing to do, and then Poe's just you need a pilot, don't you? And Finn's yeah, I need a pilot. But so they go in and steal a TIE fighter. They try to leave in the TIE fighter. Yeah. And the TIE fighter and the TIE fighter gets held down by a big landing cable, yeah. Yeah. And they say hey, we have an unauthorized launch, and Kylo's pretty much just it's FN-298, isn't it? And so they end up freeing themselves from the cable. Finn is the one in the laser turret, and Poe's piloting. Finn fires on the stormtroopers. They free themselves from the cable, and then they fly away. they go under like neath the ship to take out a couple of the turrets because if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to get away. And in the process of doing that, the Empire fired like rockets on them when they went to escape. And that's when Poe goes like, "Hey, I don't even know your name. What is it?" And then Finn says FN like 298, and then Poe said, "That's too long. I'll just call you." And he's just like, "FN, huh? I'll call you Finn."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I like Finn." And so, and then Poe explains to him like they have to go down and back onto the planet to get the droid, and Finn's pretty much just like, "Yeah, no, that's crazy. We're not going back to Jakku. The Empire will find us and kill us." And then Poe explains to him that BB-8 has a map to Luke Skywalker on it. So then Poe's just like, "Oh, are you serious?" And then the two rockets that the Empire fired on them, one of them hits and destroys their. Yeah, it knocks this TIE fighter out of space, and they crash on Jakku. Finn and Poe are separated at that point when the TIE fighter crashes, and Poe, I guess, is in like an ejection seat, like far away, and he follows a smoke trail over to the rest of the TIE fighter, tries to get Poe out of it, but it sinks. But the TIE fighter sinks. Yeah, Poe's not even in there in the first place, but Finn thinks that Poe is in there. So the TIE fighter is on fire and everything. Finn's sitting there trying to get Poe out, and the TIE fighter just sinks into the sand, and he thinks that Poe's dead. He got Poe's jacket though, so that's where Finn's jacket comes from. It's Poe's. And then so he walks over into he walks through the desert, and by chance happens to find the town that Rey is located in.
Yes.
Do you want to take it from here? 'Cause I've been talking about it for a bit.
So Rey and the BB unit are in the Jakku. It's sort of like a spaceport type thing, like in Mos Eisley with Luke.
It's like a junkyard kind of town.
Yeah. And she gives all the scrap to the guy for the food, and he tries to offer her, I don't know,
a bunch of like. He was gonna offer her like 1.5 portion for the scavenged stuff that she gave him, and she was like, "No, that I'm not gonna. That's like they're supposed to be like worth way more." And then he offers her a crap ton of stuff. Portions are called.
I believe it's.
Yeah, like 64, I think. I don't know. 64, 65. I don't know. And he offers her a bunch for BB-8. And she gets very, very excited and almost takes the money or whatever like it is, but she rethinks about it. Shares a couple of looks with BB-8. She rethinks about it, and because BB-8's on the mission, and says that the droid's actually not for sale. And as she walks away with BB-8, the store clerk, I guess you could say, gets very angry and tells his men to go after her and to capture the droid.
Yeah.
And then that's when Finn enters the town.
So,
I think it is anyway, right?
Yeah. So Finn just sees the droid because Poe actually gave him a description of the droid, said it was red and white. So he sees the droid, kind of stares at it, and then BB-8, whatever, looks at Rey and kind of says that that's Poe's jacket.
Yeah, because Finn at the moment is wearing Poe's jacket.
Yeah, so
So BB-8 recognizes it and then tells Rey that and then BB-8 tells Rey that he stole the jacket.
And then so they're chasing him down, they catch him, and then he explains that Poe had died in the crash.
And BB-8 did the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
he slumped over in sadness. It was really cute.
And slow effect. Okay. So yeah, he kind of, and then the First Order kind of came in and started fighting.
And wrecked shop. Yeah, they wrecked shop.
They did completely bomb the place, basically, trying to look for them.
But by the way, Finn, to get out of like when he explains what happened to Poe and that he like saved Poe from the ship and everything, he tells them that he's with the Resistance, which he's really not. Um, and we're just kind of going over like the kind of like basics, or at least like that's like what we're aiming for. And then so he says that they're with the Resistance. The First Order, I keep wanting to say Empire. The First Order comes in and just completely wrecks shop. They start bombing the place and everything. And then so Rey and Finn, who don't even know each other's names at this point, she just kind of thinks that he's with the Resistance because he said that he was. And so they all go and they start to run away from the Empire because or First Order because they're bombing it. They're bombing the town.
Yeah.
And as they're running away, the ship that they're going to gets blown up, and Finn says like, as they're running to the ship, Finn goes like, "Hey, why not that ship over there?" And then Rey says, "No, that one's a piece of garbage." And then they run over to the like, and they're at the moment they're running over to the ship that they're gonna get in.
Yeah.
And then it gets blown up by the Empire, so they get all like a surprised look on their face, and then Rey goes like, "Oh, the piece of garbage will have to do," and they run over to the piece of garbage ship, as she calls it, and surprise, it's the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, and turns out it's just been sitting there, like in there for a really long time, because the same guy that like wanted to take the droid, apparently bought the ship from somebody, because at the moment it's out of Han Solo's hands.
Somebody stole it from Han Solo and then sold it.
Yeah, and then it went through like a bunch of different people, and then so they flee the planet while there's two TIE fighters chasing them. They take out the two TIE fighters. They drove the freaking Millennium Falcon with TIE fighters chasing them through a destroyed Star Destroyer, which is really cool. And so then they flee the planet. And so when they get out in the orbit of Jakku, the ship kind of like breaks down, right?
Yeah. I think he said the compressor for hyper space.
Yeah, there's like a gas leak. I remember.
Well, it was like poisonous gas or whatever.
Yeah, there was some type of poisonous gas leak, so they had to try to fix it really fast. And so they were trying to fix it.
And then
they
got sucked into a ship, what they thought was a First Order ship, and then they were hiding under the thing, and then Han Solo walks in with Chewbacca.
Before that. Finn, before that, like before that happened is when the gas leak thing happened.
Well, yeah,
they were trying to fix it, and in the process of that, like, didn't Finn tell BB-8 that he's not actually with Resistance, but not to tell Rey? Yeah, so he tells BB-8 that he's not actually Resistance, but not to tell Rey.
It's kind of hinted that he kind of likes her, honestly.
Yeah, and then like she tells him to like get a certain wrench or something, right? And he doesn't know which one it is, so like BB-8 has to tell him. And like when he gets the wrench right or whatever, doesn't BB-8 do like the little like thumbs up with his like little like lighter or something? Yeah. And then so that's when like the scavenge ship kind of comes, and what they think is a First Order ship. Yeah, they think it's a First Order ship, but it's not. It's like a scavenger ship, and
Here, you want me to get this part?
and then it's revealed. And then when they get inside the ship, like when the Millennium Falcon is sucked inside of the other scavenger ship, it's revealed that Han and stuff, like Han and Chewie, are the pilots of the scavenge ship, and they've been like looking for the Millennium Falcon, so they're looking for the crew members of the Millennium Falcon, and they find them underneath the grates because they're going to release a poison gas because they thought it was a First Order ship, but it wasn't. So yeah, Han and Chewie find them, and then like they kind of explain like, no, we're the only crew. Don't worry, it's all fine.
And at this point, Rey and Finn have no idea that's Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, Do you wanna take over?
Yeah,
For a bit?
so Han Solo kind of hints that he's Han Solo. She like fangirls a little bit because she's like, "Oh my God, the legends are true, because it's in the future, so they kind of don't really know, but because it's kind of like a myth, honestly, in their opinion. So they kind of hints at it, and then Han Solo says, "No, I don't really want to accept this mission. I don't really want to help you guys." Like he did in actually episode 4. Honestly, I feel like it was kind of a repeat almost. But so they fly back to their base. They flew back to the resistance base, right?
No.
They didn't.
No, they went back to Jakku for some reason. I think, right?
No, they didn't.
Oh no! The gang members raided the ship.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Han Solo owes debt to like two different gangs, and so they raid the ship, and they're gonna kill Luke, Han, and Chewie.
But at the same time, Rey and Finn are under the grates underneath the walkway, and
Rey accidentally lets out like these like 3 really dangerous like monsters that Han had on the ship. And so, like, everybody gets all messed up by them. They flee in the Millennium Falcon. And what happens after they flee in the Millennium Falcon? They go to the pirate place, right?
No, I could have swore they went to the Resistance headquarters.
No. They went to the pirate base. I'm almost certain of it.
No, because then that's when they met Poe. Because then Poe was...
No, dude, that was later in the movie. Yes, they met Poe after the raid on the pirate base.
Oh yeah. All right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so they meet this. I don't know what her name was, but she was like 1,000.
She's like the same kind of race as Yoda, I think.
Yeah, well, almost. She's just a little bit more taller. But yeah, they meet her, and then Rey sort of wanders off a little bit to the downstairs.
But before that happens, Finn admits that he's not resistance. He was like, he was part of the, because Rey wants to go back to Jakku because she still wants to wait there for her parents that she thinks are going to come back. Yeah. Which is another huge reason that, like I said before, that I think it's like Luke or Han or somebody. So yeah, she wants to go back to Jakku to wait for her parents, which aren't gonna come back. And then Finn basically says that like did he not want to go through with like the plan of like trying to take down the First Order? Yeah.
He was not ready for it. He wanted to leave. Forget all
Yeah, he just wanted to run away from the First Order. He didn't want to try to fight them back. And so he leaves with like 2 other people that like would fly him away for work. And he doesn't leave the planet though. And Rey goes down into like the cellar kind of like part of the base of the pirate base, and she finds Luke's lightsaber, which the pirate lady had for some reason. Does it touch on why he had it? I forget.
Well, she just kind of said, "I'll story for another time," which I feel like I don't know. That
Oh yeah, you know she like knows Yoda, right? Or knew Yoda.
Yeah.
So anyway, she finds the lightsaber, and when she touches it, she kind of has like a sort of. Yeah, you know, like the thing where Luke and on Dagobah like went into the part of the forest that, yeah.
He cut it open and saw his own head.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it was more intense, I feel.
Yeah.
And then she comes out of like that feeling all freaked out and everything, and so the pirate lady comes down to her, and you want here take it for a bit again.
Yeah, she just kind of says, "Oh God, I don't want to touch that lightsaber," and she just kind of walks away.
Yeah, yeah. Ray doesn't want anything to do with the lightsaber, even though the other girl, the pirate princess, like wants, or not princess, the pirate woman, like wants her to take it,
Yeah.
and everything, because she basically tells Ray that she's force sensitive right there.
Yeah.
And then doesn't the raid? Oh no, it goes to like the speech of the Empire, right? Like the Empire's like having a
Telling
speech
them that the new
that they're gonna go raid the pirate place, right?
no, that the new battle station is operational.
Oh, okay. And then they learn that they're at the pirate place, right? Yeah, yeah. Because okay, two of the people in the pirate place. One of them was a robot, and they noticed BB-8, so they called in. So they told somebody to call the Resistance and tell them that the droid that they're looking for is there. And then somebody else from the new order, or the First Order, also saw the droid and told the First Order to come and like get the droid because the droid was there too.
Yeah.
So the First Order, gets there before the Resistance does, and they absolutely wreck everything again. And
They destroyed and killed everybody.
yeah, yeah. And Finn got his hands on the lightsaber, right?
Yeah, because the 1,000-year-old lady gave it to Finn, said, "Here, go defend, go help out." Even though
Yeah, and Finn, and so they're all fighting the First Order off, like Han, Chewie, and everyone. And so yeah, they're doing that, and then okay, I'm going to. Oh yeah, and then Poe meets one of the stormtroopers, and the stormtrooper calls him a traitor, and he has this like little electric-y staff thing, which is like kind of reminiscent of the Magna Guard staff because it can hold its own. Oh yeah, sorry, Finn. Finn has the lightsaber, and he meets a stormtrooper that like calls him a traitor.
sort of looks like those the General Grievous Guard staff type thing.
Yeah, Magna Guard.
Yeah, Magna Guard. So, and it's like a Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade almost, but it's like huge, and it's kind of like a wrist lightsaber type thing, but for stormtroopers. That's what I really felt it was like.
Yeah, it's just like reminiscent of a Magna Guard staff, and because it doesn't look like it too much. I mean, it kind of does, but it can hold its own like against the lightsaber. Yeah, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it won't break if a lightsaber like slices it.
So he kind of battles it out. He's about to kill him. Like he overpowers Finn almost, and then he's about to kill him, and then Han kind of.
Yeah, because at this point, like Finn's not very trained.
Yeah, because he just literally got the lightsaber,
and he's also like not force sensitive anyway. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think either. But and then Han sort of took Chewie's crossbow and shot him. That was my favorite part, honestly, where he was like, "Wow, I love this thing."
Yeah. Han took Chewie's crossbow like several times, and it's just like, Chewie, I love this.
Yeah.
And then so Rey is like running away, right? Why is she running away
was
again?
running away because she just wanted to run away, I guess. And
or no. Didn't someone tell her to run, like Han or someone?
No, I don't think so.
Because they were there looking for her, and along with BB-8.
Oh, well, yeah. So BB-8 was like following her, and she was kind of like.
Oh, by the way, Shane,
yeah.
That's another reason that I really think that like Kylo and her might be related, because when the guy came in and told him that they failed to like capture the droid and Finn the traitor.
Yeah.
He also told Kylo that there was a girl with them, and he like immediately was just like, "What girl?" Like he like kind of freaked out a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, what were we? Oh yeah. So Rey is running away.
Yeah, and then she sort of has to, because Han gave her a pistol type blaster, and she's kind of like defending off, and then Kylo comes in and overpowers her,
Yeah, he's shooting at her, but she's missing, and he like deflects with shots and stuff.
And he kind of
And so, yeah, he ends up capturing her, overpowering her with the force, making like she completely stops her from moving. I remember at this point she does not know that. Well, she has an idea that she's force sensitive, but she doesn't know of like her capabilities too much yet.
yeah.
Um,
So Kylo Ren is carrying her unconscious body to
yeah,
the ship.
he did that. He did that awesome thing. Like he used the force on her and literally just knocked her out.
Yeah. He was taking her to the ship, and Finn noticed him carrying her, and so did Han. So Finn's trying to chase after the ship, and of course, like every other movie, it takes off without her coming off. So Kylo Ren took her back to the Star Killer, which was the new Death Star, which was like 10 times bigger. And destroying.
Yeah, and as like he's as Kylo left with Rey, the Resistance does like a little sneak attack with all their X-wings. You might have seen it in the trailer. It's like the part where they're all like skimming across the water. So they're like all going in for a sneak attack, and then they end up completely wrecking the remaining First Order troops. And actually no, sorry, that's why Kylo leaves. Remember?
Yeah.
Because the First Order's there wrecking stuff. Yeah, so the First Order comes in with a sneak attack, starts wrecking stuff. A trooper goes over to Kylo and goes like, "Hey man, we need more troops, otherwise we're gonna lose because the First Order's here." And so Kylo's just like, "Okay, get the ships ready, we're leaving," and brings brings Rey back to the Star Killer.
Yeah.
And then yeah, here you go.
Oh God, what happened after that? Okay, so Finn kind of gave Han the hint that he needed help. Well, they went back to the Resistance base with all the Resistance guys, and Finn found out that Poe was still alive and everything like that. Han met up with Leia from the other.
Yeah, and that's also like when we learn. Or actually, no, we knew that Kylo was Han's son before that because like the Supreme Overlord or Supreme Emperor, I can't remember what they called them, was like told or like said that like like
Han
hey
was more
Stark
powerful than you.
like hey Kylo it's Han or whatever. And so wait, what happened? What were you talking about? I forget.
Alright, so they kind of all met up at the Resistance headquarters. And
Yeah. And
Finn said, Leia said that they needed to take out the Star Killer. Finn
yeah, and also that's when like Finn and BB-8 finally re-met like Poe, who we learn was ejected and like thrown from the TIE fighter like far away, and like he found his own like town and his way back to the Resistance base. And so they're all in like a room and stuff after talking about like, and Leia trying to convince Han to like try to convince Kylo to come back to that Leia and Han because he's their son. And so they're in the room like planning the raid and stuff, and here you can take it.
planning the raid, and what happens is Finn sort of says, I know the Star Killer better than anyone here. I was a member of the First Order, and I hate them, or whatever he said. And Leia's like, yeah, you can go ahead and lead it. So what happens is Han, in order to get past the shield, the deflector shield, like on the Death Star, he has to go through hyperspace and land exactly like on the Star Killer. So he sort of makes a crash landing. And then what happens is Han asks him what the plan is, and Finn said, I don't know, I'm just here for Rey, which he sort of explains that he was just a garbage person on the Star Killer.
Yeah, he was just there for like sanitation.
And he just wanted to rescue Rey out of this, and Han sort of gets pissed off because he's like, everybody's counting on us. So what they do is they get on board, and then they capture one of the the higher leaders, the captain. I forget what her name is. What's her name?
Oh, Phasma. They capture Phasma.
Yeah, they capture her, and then they sort of force her to take down the deflector shields, and then Han, making a joke, says, does this place have a garbage chute? It's hinted that they throw her down there.
Yeah. That's a reference to like when he was in the Yeah.
With Leia.
Yeah.
So they get it offline. The rebel ships come in. They're sort of attacking, and and before this, actually,
The First Order and the First Order, when they attack, when the rebels attack, take down several of their ships, and it's looking like very bleak.
And before this, back at the rebel base, Finn was actually he had explosives with him. He was sort of putting them in a case and closing them up with himself. But they find,
which he gave to Chewie and Han.
So then it goes back to Rey in the torture room with Kylo Ren, and he sort of gets the information about where Luke Skywalker is. 'Cause that's the whole
No, she resists him.
Yeah, she sort of resists him.
No, she completely resists him. He doesn't get it from her.
He didn't?
No.
He did.
I don't think he did.
He did.
I'm pretty sure he didn't, dude. Because remember, he goes in to talk to Snoke, and like he's all like, she resisted you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so then he sort of leaves after
Snoke
that.
is like the supreme overlord, by the way.
Yeah. He sort of leaves after that, and there's a stormtrooper standing on guard, and her just with the Jedi mind, like from Episode 4, like Obi-Wan going, "These aren't the droids you're looking for." She sort of hints. She says.
Yeah, she knows about like it hints at like they know kind of about like the Jedis and stuff because she's like well, okay. Yeah, because she knows how to do the mind tricks, like she knows like what to say and everything. So because I guess she like heard stories or whatever. Yeah. So she she tells the stormtrooper, like, you will loosen these restraints and leave the room with the door unlocked. And he comes over and he at first he's just like, what? And then she says it again. He's like, what did you say? And then so she says it again. It fails this time also, and he just comes over to her and goes like, I will tighten these restraints. And then so she says it a third time, and this time it works. And he loosens the restraints so she can get out and starts to leave the room and opens the door. And as he's walking out the door, she also says, and you will leave your blaster, or no, you will drop your blaster. And he just drops it as he's walking out.
That was my favorite part. That was hilarious. Yeah. I felt like it was somewhat of a comedy too, you know.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, it was. But so she's roaming around the ship. Kylo Ren goes back to the hangar because the Lord whatever wants to see her, and he can't.
Yeah,
find
is it
her.
Smoke or Snoke? Like with an M or M?
So Kylo
By
Ren
the way, like,
pissed off and sort of destroys the torture room with his lightsaber.
Yeah, dude. Kylo Kylo throughout the movie had several just like complete rage attacks. Yeah, he just rages out and completely destroys everything in front of him with his lightsaber. Like, just the consoles and the computers and everything in front of him, like all the monitors and stuff.
Yeah. So he sort of gets pissed off. She's roaming around the ship. They're looking for her. Meanwhile,
she doesn't know that all the rebels are there, too.
Yeah, she doesn't know that Finn and Solo are on the ship, too. So they sort of meet up. And,
yeah, by coincidence, they all meet up with each other. They're like, I think wasn't it like Han and Chewie were getting ready to like detonate the explosives,
yes,
and like Finn was all like, yeah, well, I'm trying to like find Rey or something, and then like Han just like points behind, yeah, and because she's like climbing down a wall.
Yeah, because they saw her. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, at this time, the resistance is attacking like what's sort of like the trench holes that were in the Death Star, the second one. They're sort of shooting at that, but completely failing. So Han decides he's going to take those explosives and help out. So they sort of go off in a different direction. And at the same time, now here's where they come back together. Han notices that Kylo Ren is in the room with him. It's like a
Oh my god, this part.
platform. This was the worst part. I was like, oh my god, really? So
Well, no, it wasn't the worst part. To me, this was one of the best parts, but it made me sad.
So it's like a big, looks like an endless abyss almost, and it's just a platform going up to the middle. And he's
Kind of similar to like, I guess you could say similar to like when Luke or when Vader threw the Emperor off of the platform into like just a huge hole.
Yeah, it's just like a huge hole. And
With a
Kylo,
big like catwalk in the
yeah.
middle of it.
Kylo Ren is walking out, and Han sort of, because Leia before Han left said, "Bring my son back home." So Han's like, "Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go try to talk to him." So he goes up and he's like, "Hey."
That's how casual you make this sound.
Yeah, and they sort of walk up to each other, and Han sort of explains to Kylo that he can change, and he can come back and be okay. He can come back with me, he says. And Kylo Ren's like, yeah, you know what? And then he takes off his helmet.
First off, like Han tells him to take off the helmet, and Kylo kind of says like, "What do you think you'd be looking at if I take off the helmet?" And he says like, "My son." Yeah.
So he takes off his helmet. They sort of like have a father-son bonding moment, and then he tries to hand him the lightsaber.
Kylo basically, like, Han thinks what Kylo is saying is like,
True.
Han thinks that Kylo is talking about like, he's saying stuff like he's saying stuff like he wants to do something, but he doesn't know if he has the strength for it. And so what Han thinks he means is like to come home with them and face his parents. But what he really means is, we'll get to in a second. But so he's like tricking Han, or Han just doesn't like know what he means.
Yeah, I don't. So.
And Han thinks that he means to come home and like face Leia and like Han, like his parents. So and then Chewie is there watching all this, and then that's when Rey and Finn like walk into the room and
like
see
a bit of above like a section.
Yeah,
Can't
and Kylo Ren is like kind of handed over his lightsaber to Han, and at first I thought that like Kylo Ren was gonna come home with them, and then had like a second thought about it, but I know now that he was just tricking Han into being like, yeah, I want to come home with you guys. Or Han just thought that, and Kylo wasn't tricking him. He just kind of like, yeah.
You want me to tell this part?
Yeah.
All right.
So as he's trying to give, as like he like held out his lightsaber to Han, and Han grabbed it, and you can continue.
So
after
they were both holding on to it for like a couple seconds, and then what did he say? He said something. I don't know, but anyway, he opens the lightsaber and stabs Han. And they sort of glance at each other. Yeah, they sort of glance at each other, and Han sort of like slightly caresses his face.
Yeah,
like, okay.
And as he does, he falls off the big platform
into the big abyss, like the Emperor did.
And Chewie freaks the hell out and shoots Kylo right in the waist, and like it messes him up. Like he's not like near death, but it messes him up pretty bad. And then he continues to detonate the charge. Yeah, he blasts a couple stormtroopers and then detonates the charges. And Kylo, Rey and Finn like freak out too, because Han just died. Oh, and then it also, when Han dies, cuts to Leia, and she kind of got like a feeling that, like, Han's dead.
Yeah, like something bad just happened.
Yeah, because like I said, she is force sensitive.
Yeah. Because she was descendant of Anakin. After that, I'm trying to think.
After that is when Chewie and like the whole place that like Han was just killed in is kind of collapsing because Chewie detonated the charges. So Kylo Ren's really hurt, but he makes his way out of the area, and so do Rey, Chewie, and Finn, and Ray and Finn were like way above Chewie, like on inside the building. So they're all in like separate places,
Yeah.
and Ray and Finn run out into a forest, and you want to go from there. Kylo follows them, and I think you know what happens after that.
Oh yeah. So Kylo Ren
In the
follows.
forest?
Yeah, they followed. He follows Rey and Finn into the forest, and he sort of shouts at them. He says, "Hey, it's not over yet." And then he draws his lightsaber, and then Finn grabs his lightsaber. They're battling for.
Well, yeah, Luke's like he
has
it's
his
Luke's lightsaber.
lightsaber.
He turns it on. Yeah.
So they're sort of battling a little
And
bit.
he has like a terrified and also extremely angry look on his face.
Yeah,
Like sorry, Finn does.
Yeah. So they're battling, and Kylo Ren sort of hits Finn against a tree, like force pushes him against a tree, knocks him out, and that's when Rey gets involved.
Before he does that, he does like slice him and like stab him a
Oh,
bit
yeah,
with
they
the lightsaber.
slice each other
Like
a little bit.
especially like one big like slice on Finn's back. He's not dead, but he's like pretty close.
Yeah. So Rey grabs Finn's, Luke's, whatever lightsaber, and sort of fights him
Yeah,
off.
after Kylo takes down Finn, he goes to use the Force to pull like Luke's lightsaber over to him, but he can't. And the reason that he can't is because Rey is also using the Force and pulls the lightsaber over to her, because even though it might sound weird to you guys that like she is knows how to do all these tricks and stuff, like the mind tricks and everything, she did fail at it a couple times, but the reason that she can do it is probably because she has heard stories before, and keep in mind, she is exceptionally gifted with the Force. Like, it's insanely strong with her.
Oh yeah. Definitely. So she gets the lightsaber, Kylo Ren gets
Yeah,
his.
she takes the lightsaber away from Kylo, which is, it's like in the ground, like over in the snow, because he
Yeah,
hit
like
out
in
of
Hoth
pose.
when
Or
Luke had the
Finn's.
lightsaber buried in the snow, and then he had to fight the Wampa off. But yeah, it sort of
Yeah,
looks
so
like the exact
Kylo-
same scene, honestly.
Kylo tries to get it with the Force, and then, Rey's just kind of like, no, that's mine. And so then they begin to fight. Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
Right, Shane? Yeah. So what happens after that, Shane?
So they
When
fight
they're
off,
fighting.
and then she sort of.
Oh yeah, by the way, I guarantee the only reason that she won is because of how injured Kylo is. But
was
yeah,
already. So, they
he's like
fight off.
freaking out because he's so injured. Like he keeps like where Chewie shot him, he keeps like hitting himself there to like stop the bleeding or something, I guess.
Yeah. So they fight off, and then she sort of hits him a little bit more with the lightsaber, and then
Yeah, she stabs him a couple times with it, makes a couple good wounds on him. I think that he does it to her a bit too, right? Like he hits her a couple times.
He hit her shoulder.
None of the wounds are like
On
really
her,
bad.
Terrible. Only him.
Yeah.
So.
And during the fight, like there's the planet is like the rebels managed to like destroy the main kind of like coolant kind of reactor
like
thing for the
it's like
weapon.
the reactor from the first and the fourth and the sixth. Like they had to go
Yeah,
and
and
destroy it, but it's on the outside.
Yeah, and so so the planet starts like imploding, which and by the way, the planet works by taking energy from the sun. Like they literally suck up the sun into the weapon, and so like the planet starts imploding with all that power like inside of it,
Yes.
and yeah. So as the planet's just crumbling, it starts crumbling in the woods too, like during their fight,
And it sort of
and
cracks and creates a little bit of an abyss between Kylo Ren and Rey.
but before it does that, though, remember he like holds her like they they do the classic like lightsaber clash thing, and Ray is the one like under his lightsaber because he's like overpowering her at the moment, and then a huge like just crevice like opens up behind them, and Ray kind of like doesn't she kind of like think about like what the pirate lady told her and stuff, and she's kind of like she like kind of like calms instead of being like all angry and stuff,
Yeah.
and then she's able to like kind of overpower him, like like chop him up a bit, like not cut any like arms off or anything, but just like stab him in the shoulder and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I don't. Does she use the force on him to push him back or
No,
something?
she sort of hit. I think no, she pushed him away and then hit him a couple.
Yeah,
times.
he gets like further away from her, and he's really hurt. Like he can't even like really stand up anymore, and so a huge crack opens up in between them, like right after the fight with her. You know, obviously she won, and Kylo's extremely hurt.
Yeah.
So, and the big crack opens up between them, so they can't get to each other, and that's kind of what ended the thing for Kylo. Because I mean, he was really hurt, but I guarantee you, he still would have kept fighting if that didn't happen. So, she goes over to Finn, who I think she kind of
He's
maybe thinks that he's
unconscious.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, she I think might think that he's dead. And then she's crying over his like unconscious body and stuff. And then Chewie pilots the Millennium Falcon and ends up finding them in the woods, picks them up, brings them back to the Rebel base. And as the planet is crumbling, the big like Supreme Overlord guy, like Snoke or whatever his name is, who by the way I thought was Plagueis, I think you said Plagueis or something. I thought that was him because like that first all they called him was
Hey,
Supreme
look at the
Overlord.
chat.
I have F1 on. I can't see
Some
chat.
guy said when Han Solo dies, XD.
But
Brag.
okay, so anyway, so
Hold on, I gotta-
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So that captain guy that we were talking about, like the one dressed all in black, who like Kylo, said that it's a BB unit to a while ago,
Yeah.
is goes in like every time Smoke or like the Supreme Overlord talks to them, he's in like a hologram form, and so he goes in there to talk to the Supreme Overlord, and the Supreme Overlord just kind of goes like, "Hey, go out there on the planet and get Kylo because he's really hurt, and flee the planet because it's all going to crap."
Yes.
So yeah, he goes out there. Well, it doesn't show him going out there, but he goes out there, gets Kylo, and flees the planet.
Yes.
Same with Phasma and other important people, and then and then Chewie, like I said, he picks up Rey and Poe, and they like all start to leave the planet too. And at the same time, like the rebels are leaving because they're like, yeah, we won the battle.
Yeah.
And then they all meet back at the rebel base. The people take Finn over into medical, and then Leia kind of comes outside, right, to like meet the fighters returning.
Yeah. She sort of
Yeah, and
meets
then-
up with Rey, and they sort of exchange glances, and then she kind of knows that Solo's dead.
Yeah. Because like we said before, she is force sensitive. So
Yeah.
like for example, when Luke was like where she knew where to find Luke in Cloud City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we first learned she was force sensitive. By the way.
Yeah, that's true. So she kind of gives that. And then they go back into the rebel.
Oh, by the way, C-3PO and stuff showed up a while ago when they first all came back to the Rebel base to say hi to, like, Han and stuff.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, it was when they were at the pirate place. Remember, like, Leia comes with, like...
when they met Leia, so...
Yeah. So, C-3PO's there and R2's not. But, like... And C-3PO has, like, the red, like, arm now. Yeah. And, so they go... So, they... Back, like in the more beginning of the movie, when they were first at the Rebel base, C-3PO kind of took BB-8 over, and like BB-8 like saw R2-D2 in like low power mode, and C-3PO told him, yeah, because Luke had ran away, and C-3PO had told him that like R2-D2's been in low power mode for like years because since like Luke has been gone for so long. Yeah, since Luke left, basically. Or not basically, since he left. Yeah, and then in that time, like, I guess R2 was kind of, like, going through a bunch of, like, databases and stuff, trying to find, like, the map to Luke or something. Or, no, or I guess he just kind of had the map on him.
He had the map on him, but it wasn't complete, so it didn't...
Yeah, it wasn't complete because of the little part that, like, yes. Poe got from the guy and gave to BB-8 all the way at the beginning. Yeah, and then so BB-8, and then so R2 like wakes up, shows everybody he has the rest of the map, and they're like, "Oh, there's a piece missing," and then BB-8's like, "Hey, Poe, you'll get the piece." So he gives him the piece, and then he does a little hologram and shows and like puts the piece of the map together. Yeah.
The whole map is complete now. They know exactly where Luke is. Which way
yeah,
did it turn out to be?
Finn is still all. Finn is still like. Yeah, he's getting like treated medically and stuff. So
we don't even know what happens to Finn in the end.
So R2, Rey, and Chewie are the ones that go to see Luke, right?
Yes. So they set out on a journey to find Luke, which they do get there.
Yeah, they follow the map.
This huge mountain.
Yeah, Chewie, R2, and BB-8, I think, all kind of stay up at the ship as Rey is like traveling around on this island trying to find where Luke is. She goes, yeah, she gets to like the kind of like top kind of area where the pathway leads to, and she finds Luke just kind of standing there out like looking over the ocean, which like is obviously like he knew that she was coming.
Mm-hmm. And then she kind of just reaches into her bag and pulls out his lightsaber and sort of just stands there, like handing it to him. He turns around because he obviously can sense that she's there, and then they just
and he takes his
each other.
Yeah, and he takes his hood off, and you can see like he's got his robot arm still, but it doesn't have like the kind of like he had like a glove over it, right? Like Anakin did.
Yeah, like a black glove type of thing.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that on it anymore. It's just kind of like just the like robot. Skeletal like robot hand. And so the movie ends with like a pan of like them like with Rey
like a wide
like
shot.
holding out the lightsaber to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it sort of.
And then it goes to credits. Yeah. But it was really good. I know like this probably wasn't like the best kind of overview of everything, but
yeah, it was pretty good.
The movie was exceptional. You should go watch it if you're a big Star Wars fan, because this will not displease you, like I'm sure the prequels did.
Yeah. Well, if you
there's
haven't
no Jar
seen it
Jar.
yet, you shouldn't be watching.
Jar Jar's Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
No. If you like, we said in the beginning too. If you haven't watched it yet, then don't watch this.
Now, I've got a question for you. Which enemy type uniform did you like better? Did you like the clone troopers, the stormtroopers, or the first order?
Honestly, I really like the clone troopers.
You still like the clone troopers?
I mean, I like how they look, yeah.
Okay. I like
especially because their armors were so different from each other and everything.
That's true.
Like they had different things for like captains and stuff. I mean, I know like stormtroopers kind of have that too, but I mean these were like all different. They were all different like colors and stuff.
That's true. I mean, I like the.
And also, I like how the idea of like the different Jedis were assigned like different clone commanders. Like Yoda's was Gree, I think, and then Obi-Wan's was
yellow.
Cody.
Anakin was.
Oh
blue.
yeah, he was orange. It was Cody. It was Commander Cody. And then Anakin's was blue. He had Rex.
And then Yoda, yeah, Yoda's was green.
Yeah. But overall, yeah, the movie's really good. You're like I said, if you're Star Wars.
Excellent. I would.
Yeah, it's not. It will not disappoint you. It's really good. Abrams, he did such a good job with it. He did not. He worked a lot to not disappoint people, and I think he succeeded.
You know what I did notice though? The hyperspace, like the background, was the same as Star Trek. He used the exact same CGI. effects.
Yeah, he kind of did.
It was the exact same thing. He just copy and pasted it. Which, you know what? It's not a bad idea because it did look pretty cool. It really did.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, go the base. We're gonna end it here. So yeah, go watch it. It's a good movie.
Oh jeez.
Oh, by the way, because I haven't stopped yet, just saying, if anyone's looking forward to the new Mooncast, we did one tonight, but it turned out to just be horrible. So we're gonna do it again in a little bit, and we were gonna plan on having that up and then this one up both tonight, but that probably won't happen. Just because like the one we did was absolutely horrible, so you won't see that up anytime soon. But we will do another one, like probably I would say maybe tomorrow or the next day or something.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, later guys. Bye.
Yep.
All right, I feel like that was good. You gonna